Hello guys, and welcome back to Cycle Fab. I'm Larry. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I make the diffusers for both the Harbor Freight and the Eastwood powder coat guns. Now, incidentally, the one that you'll be seeing made here today, that's going to be the prototype for the Harbor Freight. Now, I call it a prototype simply because it's going to be the first one. I pretty much got all the bugs worked out when I was working with the Harbor Freight, designing that diffuser. Well, this diffuser is primarily, exactly the same thing. The only difference is some minor dimension modifications so it fits the electrode on that particular gun. Also, the same thing goes with the column tube. It's a little bit different in dimensions as well. So, you know, there's that. But basically, the design is exactly the same. Same radiuses, same length, same material, same diameter material, so on and so forth. Now, what I'll be showing you is me just simply going through the process of how I make these. All the way from the stock, which is just a long aluminum rod. They come in 12-foot lengths. I cut them to 6-foot lengths, then put them on my bandsaw. And anyway, I'll go through all that with you, and you'll see what I go through on a day-to-day basis when I manufacture these. And I hope you guys get some knowledge and some enjoyment out of it. So let's get started at the bandsaw. Okay guys, this is what I start off with. This is a 1/2-inch diameter aluminum rod, 12 feet long, to make it more manageable to use around the shop. So in actuality, I'm using a 6-foot aluminum rod here, okay? And we're gonna put that on the bandsaw right now and cut off some sections and make some prototypes. The first operation is cutting the slugs. Voila. I'll cut 20 or 30 1-inch slugs, actually 1 1/8. They're rough cut on the ends, you know, obviously a saw. So that's it. And now we go to the grinder. Now what I do is simply deburr the edges on it after it comes off the saw. Like I said, I'll have 20 or 30 of them. There it is, just a quick deburr. Okay guys, this is a mandrel that I use when I'm making these. This is a compression mandrel, or a collet basically. And I designed this to hold these little guys. And squeeze it in there. Now I'm running a 3-jaw chuck. So basically it's just, when the chucks come down, they grab a hold of this. As you see, there's 3 sides to it, and it just compresses it down and holds this little guy in place so I can do my machining work on it. Then I simply just flip it around and do the other machine work on the other side. Easy peasy. Now, it took some thinking to build this mandrel to where it worked, and there's been some modifications to it. But the neat thing about it is I can use it on both styles of diffusers. I can use it on the Harbor Freight, and I can use it on the Eastwood. So now let's go on over to the lathe and I'll show you how this works. Hey guys, if you liked the video so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I could really use the help. And also, go ahead and hit the notification bell too. That way you know when my next video is coming out. This cutter right here, this is carbide. Now, it's not necessary to use carbide to cut aluminum, obviously. But I had this left over from another job, and it has the radius in there. I have modified it a little bit. This is the radius for doing the nose of the diffuser. So that's what we're going to do first, and I'll focus on the chuck and let you see me load the collet and the aluminum slug. Now this is an old Jacobs chuck, Jacobs buck chuck actually. You just have one screw that actuates all 3 jaws at the same time. So I don't have to dial each and every one of these in. I would go broke doing that. Okay, make sure that's nice and firm. Now you can see, get an idea how this collet works. The pressure from the jaws clamps down on the collet, thus clamping down on that piece. So let's go ahead and make a cut, and you guys get to see the magic. Okay, there you go. Now every one of these I hit it with a file. just slightly to knock any burrs or ridges off. Now what we do, take this out, turn it around, and reload it back into the jaws. Now what I want to do is space it to length. Now you need to understand, I don't make every one of them like this. I go through each process, in other words, like cutting the dome on the front of it. I do every one of those like that, all 20 or 30 that I make. And then I come back and do the next process to all 20 or 30 of them that I have. I don't make one whole diffuser, then come back and make another whole diffuser. I do all of them in steps. Okay, now what I want to do is come back with a drill and do the drill. Okay, before we drill it with this drill, this is a 99 thousandths diameter drill. And this is just a holder that I have for it that's right here on the end. This is too small to start a hole with. It will flex like a piece of spaghetti. So what we're going to do is come in and center drill it first with just the tip of this center drill. I believe that's the number 3 center drill. But that gives me, it does two things. It gives a lead in, not only for the drill, but when you go to put your diffuser onto the electrode, this helps guide it on and fit it on, because it will be a little bit of a snug fit. Hey, if any of you are interested in the Eastwood diffuser, just check out the link down below in the description box and pick yours up. Now we change out our drills. Like I said, I would go through and center drill all 20 or 30 of these slugs, depending, when I say 20 or 30, if I made 20 slugs or if I made 30 slugs, I would go through and center drill every one of those, then change out my drills right here to this from the center drill and proceed to drill every one of those, you know, whether it be 20 or 30 of them. Now I take this all in one plunge because I've done enough of them already, but with every one, just a little bit of oil. I don't run coolant. I got a coolant line right here, but it's not necessary to do on aluminum when I'm doing it like this. It's too messy and I just don't need it. The cutting oil suffices just fine. And also I have my drill marked. You can't see it on camera, but I have a mark here at my, half-inch depth. So we just go in right to the half-inch mark, and that's it for that process. Now we move on to cut the skirt. I'll give you a close-up of what the tool looks like that I use for that. Okay, that's it right there. And you'll see what I'm talking about after it's done. These are sometimes called forming tools. Obviously, I use manual mills and lathes, well, mostly a lathe, to make these diffusers. I do not have any CNCs in my shop. And you can do production machining on manual lathes. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and yeah, it's very, very possible. Now, manual mills, manual lathes, manual machines will never be as fast as CNCs. That's impossible. But it is possible in a small shop to turn out small quantities and still keep your volume pricing down for stuff like this, if you know what you're doing. So let's go ahead and cut this, and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up what it looks like. Now I'm turning my lathe at 800 RPM, and I just feed in slowly. This is not under power, just hand power. And normally I put oil on this, but for video sakes, I don't have any oil on it right now because it would make too much a mess. I definitely don't want to get oil on my camera lens. Now after I get the depth set, which is typically on the first one, then I'll be able to just run several of these fairly quickly. I kind of get a cadence going to where I can turn these things up fairly quickly. Once you get everything set, yeah, no problem. That's why I'm able to sell these for $20 a piece. Because I got to compete with CNCs. Now, nobody else makes these as of yet, but get this out of here. Okay, there you go, right there. that is the bare bones of the diffuser. Now what I'll do is I'll polish it up and install it onto the Harbour Freight, and we'll get to see how this baby works. Now I still need to make the column, and that's no big deal really. I make it the same way I make the other one, so we'll just go ahead and probably go to that. I want to show you a before and after of the particle cloud that comes out of the gun as you would buy it at Harbour Freight and take it home and use it. And then I want to put this little baby on there and show you what kind of pattern you can get with this along with the column that's going to be installed on it also. Okay, as I said, I'm going to go ahead and test the Harbour Freight with the original diffuser on it as you would buy it at the store. Another thing is I'm using their regulator, which is actually nothing more than a on-off valve, and their water filter, which actually isn't that bad, come to find out. Anyway, let's get on with this. Now, the wall pressure is set to their specifications, anywhere from 10 to 30 psi. I'm running it on the high side at 30, just so the camera will be able to pick it up better. So let's get on with this demonstration and see how it goes. Okay, now we're going to test out the diffuser that I designed. Now, this is white because it's still in prototype form. If it does pass the test, if I think that it's okay to release, in other words, if it does better than what the original factory one does, then this will be dyed in green, just so you'll know just by visual designation. Okay, the green one's for the Harbour Freight, the blue one is for the Eastwood. So let's go ahead and do a test and see how this diffuser works. Okay, I like that much better. It's a much more uniform jet, a little bit better dispense. I'm happy with it. Now, I know how it will do on a part because I have used one of these for so long. And anyway, it will be released probably in the next couple of weeks. I will let you guys know, and I will keep you updated on that. I want you to know that I do appreciate you watching, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, without you guys, I would not be here. So please go ahead, hit that like button if you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. Y'all take care now. Bye.